Greetings, this is Jerry and Sanders from B3 Better Sports Performance and Jordan Cook. We're here today to bring you guys some workouts that you can do at home. You know, given the circumstances that we're under right now, we know that you guys are limited with resources. So our goal is to give you some stuff that you can do on your own to maintain what you built during the off season. First thing that we're going to look at doing is our basic functional warm-up. We're going to start off with a regular high knee. We're normally going to do this for like 15 to 20 yards. In doing this exercise, our number one goal is to focus on warming up the core, getting the muscles nice and loose, but also reinforcing some running mechanics. So one of the things that we always look at doing when we pick our leg up is putting it in what we call the power Z position. So in this power Z position, I have my toe facing the ceiling. I'm trying to bring my calf to my hamstring, and my knee is waist high. Second thing is my arm mechanics, my arms. I basically have them locked at a 90-degree angle. One hand's coming from my hip down to my lip. So we call it hip to lip action. All right, so again, the first thing we're gonna do is an A skip. We're only gonna cover 10 yards for the sake of the video. And go. Short, quick skip, staying on the balls of your feet. Not letting your heels collapse. And stop. Next thing we're gonna do is a high knee, all right? Again, reinforces those same running mechanics. I'm trying to get as many reps in as I possibly can. There you go. And rest. So high knee and A skip both reinforce acceleration mechanics. Now we're going to transition more into top end mechanics. So the next thing we're going to do is what we call a B skip. All right, so this time this is a skip with a cycling movement. Again, this is what we focus on when we are in our top end position. When we're in our top end position, the number one thing I want to make sure I'm doing is getting my feet under my hips. So I'm properly moving that center of mass as I work my way down. All right, here we go. So we're getting that knee up to that waist and we're cycling down. But notice with every strike, Jordan's feet is landing under his hips. Under his hips. Good work. And again, normally we'll go 15 to 20 yards down, 15 to 20 yards back. All right, so this time we're doing butt kicks. So with the butt kicks, I still want to drive my knees up to my waist, but I'm still looking for that same cycling movement. Keeping my toes locked, getting to that power Z position, finishing with my feet under the center of the mass of my body. And go. Work. Next thing we got is side shuffle. Whenever I shuffle, never want my feet to touch, never want my feet to cross. We have this imaginary line, we call it our midline. As I'm moving left to right, I want to take that left leg and push it away from my midline while simultaneously pulling my right leg towards the midline, but never crossing the midline. Here we go. Just work our way down and back, just 10 and back. Work. Next we got karaoke with the high knee drive. So with this karaoke, I want to focus on getting my foot behind. So whichever one is my back foot, I'm getting it behind the lead foot, and then I'm bringing it in front, but I want to drive it up and over. As I drive that foot up and over, I want to focus on getting my whole foot over this knee. So bringing it behind and then up and over. Here we go. Back and over. Go down and back. Next we got back pedal. With my back pedal, I want to get my chest slightly leaning forward. We call it nose over toes. Hips back. As we back pedal, we want to push back against the ground, but with every step, I'm landing with my feet under the center of the mass of my body. And go. Push back. Let's work our way back. Same thing back. Go. Work. Next thing we got is side to side toe touches. So just trying to loosen those hips up just a little bit. So what I'm gonna have Jordan do here is he's gonna start in a long straddle position. So we're gonna start off facing this way. All right. So he's gonna reach for his right foot with his left hand. But as he reaches, he keeps his butt lowered in his back, tries to keep his chest up because we want to challenge the range of motion in our hips as much as we possibly can. And again, focus on pushing my hips back and sinking my hips back. Here we go. Push back, back. Now big hop over. Hop over. Go. Always keep your weight back on your heels, not allowing that knee to shift forward. And for these exercises, I normally want to go 10 yards down, 10 yards back. That's it. Next thing we have is knee hug and lunge. So I'm taking my knee, I'm pulling it up to my waist, up to my chest, taking a long step out, dropping that back knee. Pull that knee up to my chest. And again, take advantage of focusing on your running mechanics. So as I pull that knee up, I want to dorsiflex that toe as well. So this is our basic dynamic warm-up. These are the things that get us ready to go as we get ready to go into a high-powered, high-dynamic workout. This shouldn't take any more than 10 minutes. There's some other things that you may want to add to your workout to get your body going, but this is the basic start of that dynamic warm-up. So for our dynamic circuit today, we're going to start off with our 4-way scorpion. All right, so what I'm going to have Jordan do is lay down on his back in the supine position, plant his arms flat on the ground. I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to loosely swing it up and back, trying to keep those hamstrings as straight as you possibly can. So we're swinging it up first, then we're going to take the opposite leg and do the same exact thing. All right, next we're going to take that first leg and I'm trying to swing it away from my body as far as I possibly can while trying to stay stable. So don't just let your body go all over the place. And then we're going to do the same thing with the opposite leg. Next, I'm going to take this top leg and I want to swing it across my body. So with this, I want to have my hands in a T shape, like the letter T. And notice as he swings that leg, let's bring this one over, Jordan, now. He's swinging it up and through. So I'm swinging this leg through my foot, past my knee, up past my hips. So through my foot, past my knee, up through my hips. Lastly, we're going to roll over on our back. Stand in that T shape again. I'm going to open up my hip and try to touch that top hand. So notice, as he opens up his hips, he's bending that knee, that hip's wide open here, and I'm trying to reach for that top hand. Now we're in the strength portion of our exercises. The first thing we're gonna start off with is the basic push-up. So very important to us, whenever you're in a push-up position, it's extremely important to make sure that you pack your shoulders. So when I pack my shoulders, I'm basically locking my arms in here, not necessarily extending in a full lock here, but I want to protect that shoulder girdle as much as I possibly can. So I got my shoulders and wrists in a straight line with each other. I should feel my back contracting. I should feel my chest contracting. And I'm squeezing that carpet just a little bit just to get everything contracted because I want to, again, protect that shoulder as much as I possibly can. Now, as I lower myself, my body moves as one unit. So chest, hips, they all move together. As he comes up, same thing, all right? So I'm moving that body as one full unit, all right? Next, we're going into our back burners. So with this exercise, we're gonna take 2 water bottles. We're gonna use those as a point of reference. So what Jordan's gonna do now is he's gonna reach as far as he can, start in a W position. He's reaching over the water bottles, pulling his shoulders back, and he's reaching back as far as he possibly can. So reach over, rotate his shoulders, reach back. Again, the goal is to try to get over those water bottles without touching them. Next, we have front plank alternate reaches. So he's reaching out with minimal movement from the torso and hips. So I don't want a bunch of twisting. So if you want to, you can take like a water bottle or something like that, put it on your lower hip to make sure you're not doing too much movement and to control your body. Next, we have shoulder taps. So we starting in the upright push-up position. Again, shoulder and wrist in line with each other. Minimal movement of the torso. I'm touching, pausing for a second, and then switching. Pause, switch, pause, and switch. Next, we have bird dogs. So I'm in the quadruped position. Full extension. Notice when he extends out, his heels in line with his butt. Extending his arm out where his wrist is in line with his shoulder. And keeping that core under control. And last, we got side plank rotation. So starting in that plank position, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle in one line with each other. We're gonna rotate over. We're getting my chest square to the ground. He's reaching around his torso as far as he possibly can, and then opening up wide. So next, we're gonna get into our conditioning circuit. In this circuit, we're going to do a variation of a bunch of different exercises. The first thing we're going to start off with is our wall drives. Now, in doing the wall drives, the importance of doing this, again, is reinforcing running mechanics. So I'm going to have Jordan get in the push-up position. So this is our optimal acceleration position. So again, I have what we call that linear line of power. So for my shoulders, my hips, my knee, and my ankle, I should be able to draw like a straight line. Next, I'm gonna have him lift his leg up. So this is called our power Z position. Again, so I'm making a basic Z with this here. So I'm pointing my toe up, keeping my ankles nice and stiff, and I'm gonna do a quick switch. When I switch, again, I want to stay in that position. I want to be able to hold this optimal acceleration position. I'm bringing my knees up to my waist. I'm bringing my calf to my hamstring as much as I possibly can, and I have my toes dorsiflexed. So in this drill, we're going to do a couple of switches in a row, but again, the focus is reinforcing those running mechanics. So let's do like 3 switches each leg. Also notice those heels aren't collapsing, so those heels aren't touching the ground at all. So that's the first part of this positioning drill. So the next thing we have is our kneeling starts. So we're going to basically start in a lunge position. When I get myself started, I want to be again in my running position. So Jordan's gonna bring his knee a little bit past his toe. He's gonna lean his chest just a little bit forward. I'm gonna bring that left arm up. Switch hands. So we're trying to put as much force as we possibly can into the ground. So when Jordan comes out, he's gonna explode out, but not up. When he hits the ground, this back foot should be landing under your hip. Again, the more force we can put under our body, the more it's gonna project my body forward. Here we go. So that's our forward kneeling start. So the next thing we're gonna do is our lateral start. So this is gonna recruit more of these inner thigh muscles. These muscles all contract and work together when you're talking about speed and being explosive and force production. So he's gonna start with this back leg up. He's gonna drive off this leg again, because this is all about putting as much force in the ground as we possibly can. He's gonna drive off this leg, put that front foot under his hip, and